Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. I'm coming to you from the rocks, and I'm just going to head down to Harbourside, down there at Circular Quay, and we'll go and do a bit of a walk and talk. And I've got another wonderful author today. His name is Daniel Pink, and his book is entitled When by Daniel Pink. I've done a couple of Daniel Pink books and been pretty impressed. So I look forward to doing a walk and talk and just chatting about this book summary, When, and see where it leads us. But I'll just start heading off now and start chatting away. Anyway, it rained a bit earlier today, but it's nice because the breeze has picked up. It's cleared the it's cleared the sky of rain, should I say. And we're often walking. So what are we going to talk about today? I guess the key message from this book by Daniel Pink, entitled When, is trying to identify, based on our personality types or our makeup, when the best time of the day it is to do certain tasks. Because Daniel Pink talks about the fact that we all are different in terms of our brain power and the rhythms that we operate in, and depending on the time of day will also determine how you feel or whether or not you're in a mood to do something. And depending on what you need to do, you can structure your day so that you're getting the best performance out of your brain for that particular task, for that particular part of day. So Daniel says something which is pretty profound, which I didn't really appreciate all that much up until now. But what he says is that moods and performance oscillate during the day. So we go in waves of ups, downs, and depending on your type or how you operate, you need to make sure that you time it properly so you get the best out of the opportunity, depending on what sort of work you're looking at undertaking. So I think this is pretty special, pretty clever, and pretty useful. So and we can all use this sort of advice because we're all trying to maximise our productivity. But in terms of maximising our productivity, we also need to understand that we're all different, and what works for some people may not necessarily work all that well for everybody else. So in terms of our moods, in terms of whether or not we're in the right mood, in the right frame of mind, Daniel talks about the cycle, the typical cycle that we all go through, our mood cycle. And he said that it's basically threefold, or it's got three aspects to the cycle. We've got a peak, where we're at our highest level and our most receptive. We've got a trough, where we're at our lowest ebb in terms of our mood and our capability. And we've also got the rebound, which is when we bounce off the bottom and we spark up again and get back into the mood, and we're ready to take on the world again. So the following advice was really powerful, and I'll share it with you. So what Daniel said as we walk down here to Harbourside, he said that in the morning, most people have their peak in their morning in terms of their mood. So he said that in the morning it's great to do your analytical work that requires sharpness of mind, vigilance and focus. So you need to be doing those activities when you're at your peak of your cycle. So depending on who you are, and you'll realise it, you'll work it out if you're when you're peaking. And what you may need to do is you may need to journal. You may need to keep a journal to be able to identify, track and measure your mood swings, to find out when you're at your peak, when you're at your lowest, and when you're just bouncing back. I must admit, I just felt a bit tired a little while ago when I was working, so just about 11 o'clock I was feeling a bit low, but now I've bounced back, so it's 12 o'clock noon and I've bounced back just like that ferry heading back across the Manly. I'm feeling sharp again, but about half an hour ago I was really lethargic and feeling really low in terms of my energy levels and my mood levels. So we said that when you're at your peak of your cycle, of your mood cycle, that's the time to do the left-brained activities, the analytical work, where you need to be sharp, vigilant and focused. And he said that during recovery or later in the day, when you're a bit tired or a bit more relaxed, so to speak, it's probably better at that time of day to do your insight work, to do the stuff that you need to tap into your subconscious, work that requires inhibition and resolve. So some interesting points. So what he's saying is that depending on the profession you're in, depending on the work that you do, there are different times of the day where you'll be at your best in order to deliver the best performance for the work that you're doing. So only you will know when that time is, but the best way to identify that time is to, as I said before, is to keep a diary and to measure your energy levels, measure your mood levels, so that you know when you're at your highest peak and when you're at your lowest and when you're rebounding. An interesting exercise, and I haven't done it yet, but I look forward to doing it, just to identify and at least clarify in my mind what makes me tick. He says it's important to have good breaks throughout the day, and he said that you need to have a decent break, but during that break you need to do two things. And this is the sort of thing that I'm not doing, because every break I have at work, I'll go and do a Jim's 5am club. So I don't break at all during the day, and I'm just doing my stuff, pumping out my 5am clubs without any rest whatsoever. But what he says is ideally what we should be doing is having a powerful lunch break where we just stop everything, drop everything. And I know it's hard. So I worked in a law firm for years. I've worked in corporate Australia for years. And I know that for most executives, for most people who are leaders in their field, who are trying to achieve their job and just meet their KPIs, then we're missing out on lunch and breaks all the time. So we're on the go from the minute we get into the office to the minute we leave the office and walk in the door at home. But what he says is that you need your break, you need a decent break, and during that break you need to do two things. You need your autonomy and your detachment. So you need to be free to do whatever you want without people telling you what to do. So you're free to do whatever you want. Either nap, close your eyes, relax, eat, contemplate. It all depends. But it's up to you to determine what it is and to express your autonomy. So a little break can make a huge difference to your productivity and to your moods, according to the author. And from what the author suggests is that autonomy. What does autonomy mean? Autonomy means that we're in a position to control what we do, how we do it, when we do it, and with whom we do it. Wow, that is the ultimate expression of freedom, something that we all want to aspire to and to be able to achieve in our work lives, in our personal lives, in our social lives, you name it. To be able to control what you do, how you do it, when you do it, and with whom you do it. Pretty awesome. The author said something else which I found quite interesting. Wasn't quite aware of this, and it's a new learning for me. But he suggested that it's lunchtime, not breakfast, which is the most important meal of the day. And I guess what he suggests there is that lunch is the point where we can gain all the proper nutrients in order to get us to the right moods throughout the day. So something to contemplate, something to think about, and something to something new to as I said, to think about. But he says that whatever we do, if you're got something to do in the morning which is analytical, which needs sharpness of mind and the right mood, you need to start it quickly and do it boldly. So don't stuff around, don't get distracted. Block out all your distractions in the morning, if your peak is the morning, that is. And once you're in that peak mood, peak point within your daily cycle, then that's when you need to hammer your tasks as quickly and as hard as you can to get them knocked out. Because what will happen is throughout the day, your mood will drop off, your productivity will drop off, your sharpness will drop off. So you need to make hay when the sun is shining, so to speak. The next point by far was the time in this book that really, really resonated with me and captured my attention. Because he talks about happiness, fulfillment, contentment, and all of those things that we're trying to achieve in our lifetimes. And he said that we're the happiest when we're in our early adulthood. Tick the box, I understand that. When you're 20 years of age, 21, 18, in your early 20s, they were the happiest years by far in my early life. Then you get married, you build a career, you have children, and then you've got a lot of things on your plate. So you're working as hard as you can to keep as many balls in the air as you can, to keep your marriage going, keep your family going, keep your job going, and trying to satisfy parents, children, wife, in-laws, work colleagues, you name it. They're the toughest years of our lives, but we've got the energy and we've got the capability to get through it. But what they say is that when you're in your early 30s and moving on to your 40s and 50s, that's where you get a slide in terms of your happiness. Your happiness seems to slowly disappear during those years, and I think we've all felt that. I remember distinctly, I remember very, very clearly, when I turned 40, I absolutely hated that birthday and hated that time of my life. It was just tough times, it's a time of life where you're just stretched to the maximum. Your wife is stretched, you're stretched, your kids are in their early teens, and you're running from sport to sport, from this to that. So your children's happiness is your most important priority, and then of course your partners, and then family, and everybody else. And the last thing that you think about, the last happiness that you try and express, of course, is your own happiness. You just don't have any time for your own happiness, because on the staircase of happiness, you're the least of all the priorities, and we understand that. But here's the great news. Here's the awesome news. That when you get to the end of your 50s and you commence your 60s, that's when you get to the happiest time of your lives. And I can attest to this because I turned 60 this year, even though I didn't celebrate my 60th birthday thanks to COVID-19, as did many of my friends and families. Very few of us were able to celebrate our birthdays this year. But the point that the author makes, which is a standout point, which is a point which is worth reading this book over and over again. And that point is that when you get into your 60s, if you've got your health, all right, that's the proviso. If you've got your health, you are going to be at the happiest point of your life. And I can attest to it. As I say, I am just so happy at this stage of my life, regardless of the challenges, regardless of the problems, regardless of whatever happens in my life, I can find joy in every moment and in every part of the day. So the great news is, and to think about this, if you're having struggles in your marriage, if you're having struggles in your family, stick to it, hang in there, because those problems, those challenges are going to disappear once you hit 60, and you'll have a new lease of life. You'll be able to explode and do all the things you want and gain tremendous happiness. And you don't need to have too many people around you. You can get happiness on your own by just having the autonomy to do what you want, when you want, how you want it, with who you want it, and for how long you want to do it. That's one of the beauties. Once you've fulfilled your responsibilities and accountabilities when your family has grown up, you are more freer to be able to live your life with your partner, with your wife, and to enjoy these years of your life. Powerful, powerful, powerful. So something to think about, something to mull over, and for God's sake, something for us all to look forward to. Life is not going to be as unhappy or as boring or as terrible as what it feels like when you're in your mid-30s, mid-40s and mid-50s. It gets better. So the key is that you need to look forward to it. You need to make sure that you don't commit social suicide by breaking up your family or doing something which you may regret later on. So as I said, hang in there, stick it out, stick with it, because the best years are ahead of us. While it might sound a bit far-fetched, this is the message from Daniel Pink's book, When. So you need to wait and to look forward to the time when you can once again celebrate your life as you celebrate it when you're in your early adulthood. So that's about it. It's a powerful message. It's an unreal message. It's a message that I want to get up on the top of the Opera House or get up on top of the Harbour Bridge and just shout it to the world, that your life gets better. But you need to hang in there. You need to stick it out. And most importantly, you don't need to give up. So as I said, maintain your friendships, stay connected, and look forward. Look forward in your life to positive expectancy, because you get to an age where you don't need as much money. You know, you've worked life out to a certain extent, and you've worked people out to a certain extent, and you become less dependent on friends, family, and all the other things for your enjoyment. But you learn how to be present. You learn how to smell the roses. You learn how to make the most of every moment. And you've got more time to do it. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's take some messages from Daniel Pink's book, When, and live with positive expectancy. knowing that when you hit your 60s, if you've got health, and here's the proviso, you need to stay active. You need to do stuff when you're in your 30s, 40s and 50s to ensure that you're healthy and you're able to maximize your 60s when you get there. So just take it on board, do the most you can, and let's celebrate our lives, our freedom, our autonomy, and the fact that we're alive, we're healthy, and we're surrounded with wonderful people. But most importantly, we have ourselves to depend on and ourselves to absolutely love and to partner with. And if we're happy, then we can bring joy to the family and friends around us. Thank you very much. I look forward to coming to you again tomorrow at 5 a.m. from Jim's 5 a.m. Club. So stay connected, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Yasas, sasagapao, filakia, take care, and enjoy your today. And like this boat here, and like the message from the book, make sure that you're able to find your peak so you can do your analytical work, identify your rebound in terms of your moods in the day so that you can do the stuff which requires intuition, and learn what makes you tick and make your everyday a masterpiece. Take care, yasas, and bye for now.